Good morning all, welcome to the channel. Now raw milk is in the news again on various websites, and I'm indebted to my viewer Jill, who sent me 3 little sites to have a look at, so I thought we'd explore this. Seeing as that Arla has been in the news with its Bovia and its testing of sticking this stuff to stop cows from farting, and of course the huge backlash that has happened as a result of that, and people like my friend Mark Byford, the bowler hat farmer, pointing out that milk of course is in all sorts of things such as chocolate, biscuits, all sorts of bits and bobs that you might be inadvertently eating, not realizing it comes from the same company that is doing these tests. And this stuff, whatever it is, what really it does to you, and you have to apparently handle this stuff with kit gloves or whatever it is, kid gloves is it they say, with care when you feed it and carry it around. I can't think that anything could be worse than trying to feed that to cows, and then and they say, oh, it won't, don't worry, it won't go into the milk. Well, how do we trust anybody these days other than wanting to avoid anybody who's feeding such unnecessary toxins to animals, basically? I mean, why can't we just stay in a natural world in which grass-fed beef or grass-fed dairy can just eat the grass that they would naturally, and all the herbs and things that they want to eat? Why can't they just do that instead of interfering? Their farts are not going to cause the planet to explode. I mean, get real. Are we really accepting all this? Really? Are we really accepting this? This nonsense of man-made global warming, and part of it isn't even down to man-made, it's down to cows? It's nonsense. Anyway, those of you who want to then say, well, we don't want to drink that rubbish, we're going to drink some raw milk, because raw milk sounds much better. And of course it is but far better for you. I've been drinking raw milk now for some, over a year or so. And I've not keeled over and dropped down dead. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, gosh, hang on a second. I think I'm going. Oh, no. Well, they now claim that it's possible that you can get bird flu from it. But before that, let's go to see what the Amish are doing, because the Amish have been selling raw milk for a long time. But this article is challenging that, because why? They don't want you to be healthy, do they? That's why they're poisoning the skies. That's why they're putting fluoride and other chemicals into the water. That's why we're surrounded by 5G towers at the moment. That's why they're trying to get as many toxins into us as possible to keep us ill. They don't want us to be healthy. So here is a story from, this is Penn Live, apparently, Patriot News. Health in Pennsylvania, it says, at odds with the state, Amish raw milk farmer has a long day in court, and there's a picture of a lot of people hanging about outside the court. Funny that the courtroom has been built on the slant there, but never mind. It says here in Lancaster, PA, I've been to Lancaster, PA actually, an Amish raw milk farmer may have a glimmer of hope to escape an injunction he says will put him out of business and hurt customers all over the country who depend on his products for medical reasons. For a while on Thursday, a Lancaster County judge seemed inclined to extend the injunction based on the fact that Amos Miller has refused to obtain state permits required to sell raw milk and cheese. At the very end of the hours-long hearing, Judge Thomas, however you pronounce his name, seemed open to at least trying to find a path of letting Miller remain in business as he attempts to prove the state has no right to shut him down. The state did just that earlier the year, obtaining the preliminary temporary injunction after 2 out-of-state residents became sick from raw milk products, the state says, which came from Miller's farm. He says if he can't get any product to anybody for a month, he's bankrupt, and it's over anyway, his lawyer, Robert Barnes, said. Anyway, that's a case. I won't go into the whole thing about it, but you can see that people are very... they don't want you to sell this raw milk, because they say, it's been over 100 years now. In the 1930s, Louis Pasteur came up with the pasteurization of milk, which, on the face of it, it should be doing some good stuff. It's killing out all those sort of other bugs that get in. But at the same time, it kills the good bacteria that we need, that is good for us. And so therefore, it does sort of effectively make the milk just a white fluid that has very little nutrients in it, because you're getting rid of the good bacteria. And so all you need to do is, as all raw milk producers, certainly in this country, do, is make sure everything is spotlessly clean. And then, therefore, you don't have a problem at all. It's the rogue raw milk producers of like 100 years ago in the big cities who were selling it, and it were getting in, and these old methods where it was getting contaminated with all sorts of other things. I know for a fact that when we go and milk down at Dora's Dairy, we're milking the cows down there, and we help out with John Cook on his farm, how scrupulous he is to make sure that everything is washed down, everything is clean, everything is all prepared, everything is lovely and tidy and sterilized, so that you only get the raw milk and you're not getting other contaminants that you might otherwise get if you didn't do that process. And that's very important, of course, and he wouldn't be able to sell it anyway if that wasn't the process. But the fact that the benefits of raw milk that most people sort of poo-poo and say isn't there, the fact that people actually keep coming back because their skin is looking better, they're feeling more healthy, their eyes are bright, their hair is in great condition, that speaks for itself, doesn't it? However, they don't want us to believe that because, ladies and gentlemen, oh yes, bird flu virus has been detected in raw milk in California. Oh yeah, here we go. And do we believe this, or is this a bit of another psyop? They've been trying to get the bird flu into the public for a long time to get us really scared. And it just seems to me like another load of old nonsense. Just an opinion, just my opinion. I could be wrong. So raw milk has recalled 1.5 gallon sizes of its raw milk with a lot ID of, and then there's some sort of number, and a best by date of November 27th. And so here we go. Bird flu virus has been found in a batch of raw milk sold in California, and consumers should not drink it, the State Department of Public Health warned on Sunday. The agency said that no illness has been associated with the lot of raw milk and that pasteurized milk remains safe to drink. Oh, really? It might be safe to drink, but does it do you any benefits? Out of an abundance of caution, pasteurized milk I'm referring to, of course, out of an abundance of caution and due to the ongoing spread of bird flu in dairy cows, poultry, and sporadic human cases, consumers should not consume any of the affected raw milk. Okay, fair enough. If it is genuinely 100% infected, anything that's been infected with anything else should not, and that's just a perfectly natural thing that you would do. No need to make a big song and dance about it, because that could have been in pasteurized milk, it could have been in anything else, it could have been in margarine, or it could have been bird flu in insects that they want you to eat, or synthetic beef. It could be in any of those things. So why specifically? But because it's raw milk, oh yes, we've got to make a big song and dance about it. Raw milk, because they really don't want you drinking that, because it is actually very good for you. However, make sure it's clean raw milk, of course. Make sure it's not contaminated raw milk, of course. But then people, certainly in the UK, are not contaminating it. And do we really know, like that pangolin business that we heard about in 2020, does bird flu really cross-pollinate to humans? Is it really as dangerous as they make out? Or is this virus business just a little bit of a non-truth? Who knows? Have they isolated the bird flu virus? Did they isolate the COVID virus? Have they isolated any virus and can hold it in their hand and go, look, that is it on its own? Or are we being led up the garden path? It's a question I'm asking. And in an open society, in a society in which free speech is very important and that we look both sides of each argument, should we not be allowed to ask questions? Or is the great censorship clamping down to say, no, 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 you mustn't ask questions. Trust the science. The science is fixed. Don't ask any questions. You're a stupid individual. You don't know. You don't know what science is. Science is so complicated these days. You need to spend years and years at universities. You need to spend hours and hours with your face attached to a microscope. You can't possibly know what's going on. You're so thick and stupid, you ordinary pleb walking about the streets. We know, and we're here as an authority to tell you exactly how complicated, how complex, how confusing science is. We'll put it in such a simple way and say raw milk is dangerous. Man-made global warming is blowing up the planet. We need more electronic vehicles. We need solar panels all over the countryside. And we need to block off the sun so that it can't get down onto those solar panels. Wait a minute. Our thinking has just gone a bit awry here. Hang on. What's going on here? So here's the final one that I've got for you. Raw milk may carry hidden risks of flu transmission. Flu now, not even bird flu. Flu transmission. Woohoo! Oh, and there's a woman, stock photograph of a woman with flu. Has this woman actually got any real flu, or is it just a model lying on a bed being very close in proximity to a photographer? Maybe that's what it is. Sick woman, flu woman, it says here. Caught cold, sneezing into a tissue. Headache, virus, medicines. Somebody, Anna, something, JPEG, provided by News Medical. So maybe this is a real woman who sneezed into a tissue. Did anybody actually ask what was on the tissue? Was the tissue mass-produced in a business that might have got some symptoms of something else? Maybe somebody in the factory sneezed on the tissue, and as a result, as she sneezed into the tissue and then breathed in, maybe she got the virus from that. Maybe. Let's go back and have a little bit more of an examination and see what's going on. Raw milk, it says. Raw milk. Like the lion roars. Hailed by some as a natural and nutritious alternative to pasteurized dairy, may come, here's the warning, may come with hidden dangers, according to a new Stanford University study. The research published in December the 12th in Environmental Science and Technology Letters reveals that influenza or flu virus. What the hell is flu virus? I thought flu virus was influenza, isn't it? Isn't that one and the same? Is it not a part of that? But it says here, great bit of writing this, influenza or flu virus can remain infectious in refrigerated raw milk up to 5 days. Yes, which is probably about the recommended time you would want to drink raw milk, because being a natural product and not having all these other additives like preservatives, it wouldn't last more than 5 days, so you're recommended to drink it as quickly as you can, really, and get those health benefits, says the Vobes. It's just an opinion. The findings come at a time when outbreaks of bird flu, the evil, nasty, horrible, hideous, talons grabbing, peck-making bird flu in dairy cattle have raised concerns about the potential new pandemic. Notice that, a potential new pandemic. Not just local to a few people who might get it, but a pandemic that is going to kill us all in our beds. This work highlights the potential risk of avian influenza transmission through the consumption of raw milk and the importance of milk pasteurization, says somebody full of bollocks and an absolute load of old tosh. If you ask me, and it's just an opinion, I have to keep saying that these days because, there they are. The censorship of YouTube is coming down on me. It's attacking. You cannot say what you want to say anymore in this world. So, you're better off not drinking any raw milk because it will make you healthy, and you don't want that. Just drink the anodyne. Is that the right word? The acidine, the bland. What's that word? There's an anyway, whatever the bloody word is, I can't think of it. You know what it is. Use a dictionary, look it up, Vobes. All right, thanks very much, I will. The paint stripper of pasteurised milk, the basic sort of whitewash. Drink that and you'll be so much better, with no nutrients, no goodness and no health. But at least if you're dead, you won't get bird flu, will you?